Hiya mga master, this is Master Big Knock. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.
Sana mamatay lahat ng kurakot sa Pilipinas.
Putang ina!
The dark side of Manny Pacquiao. In the fallen legend, the sun scorched the streets of General Santos City. A boy once fought hunger with the same face that would one day make him a legend. But in this shallowed version of the story, the space never became the beacon of hope the world adored. Manny Pacquiao rose to fame as the people's champion, but the pain is a demon that feeds on weakness. Behind the chairs and flashing cameras, Lord Command addicted not to substances but to power. Every knockout feed an insatiable hunger, not for glory but for domination. By the time he conquered 8 divisions, Pacquiao had grown distant from the man he once was. Friends whispered that he no longer fought for country or faith. He fought for control, for himself. He smiled before the crowd masked a ruthless empire behind the scenes, crook advisors and connections with men who thrive in Manila's shadows. The boy who once sold bread in the streets, working in a construction site, now owned kingdom of concrete. His face traded for a fame that signed the craze as devastating as any lip hope. And yet, the darker he rose, the more he fought grows. Every night, the echoes of his early poverty cloud at him. No amount of wealth silenced the cries of the child who went hungry. No number of victories erased the memory of his father, leaving him with her mother alone, who suffered poverty and hunger for love. So he kept fighting in rings, in politics, punching shadows that never fail. Manny Pacquiao rose from poverty with fists that carried the dreams of a nation. But glory is a double-edged sword. Fame made him untouchable. Money poured in after every knockout, and with it came temptation. Soon the whispers began of mistresses hidden, of a child born in silence, away from the eyes of his family. Pacquiao's name was linked to various controversies involving illegal affairs and womanizing. There were tabloid stories about him having fathered a child outside of marriage that almost ruined his married life with his wife.
My wife and I, we almost break up.
But later on, he accepted the child that really looks like him, and he is starting now to create his own name in boxing world. His name was still cheered in the arenas, but behind closed doors, he lived 2 lives. The smiling champion on posters, and the restless man chasing desire after desire. The gambling halls became his second home. Dice, fighting cocks, and cards replaced prayer and training. Millions slipped through his fingers, yet he laughed, drunk on both liquor and arrogance. He would stagger out of bars at dawn, blinded by neon lights and broken promises. When politics called, he answered for it, and we know what is behind politics. It is for power, for protection, for influence and greediness. Power became his new addiction. He even ran for presidential election back year 2022. From the ring to the Senate and the presidential race after becoming a global boxing legend, Manny Pacquiao turned to politics in the Philippines, saying he wanted to fight not only in the ring, but also against poverty and corruption. The people who once saw him as hope began to see something darker. A man who no longer fought for them, but for himself and power. And still, the crowds cheered because legends are hard to let go. They ignored the mistresses, the gambling, the thirst for power, pretending their hero remained pure. He is more than hungrier when he tastes the power of being a politician, which is more than the power of the precious adoration as a boxer.
Nagtatanong,
While he did not win his candidacy,
tapos ang kanilang pag
was historic. A poor boy from General Santos who became a world champion and later ran for the highest office in the land. Some see his political career as inspiring.
I am a fighter, and I will always be a fighter inside and outside the ring.
A man of the masses trying to give back. Others see it as a cautionary tale about pain not always translating into leadership but for greediness and power. After the loss for election, he announced that he will be back to the ring of fame to fight again. The boy who once fought hunger had been devoured by his own hunger. The champion was still in the ring, but the man outside, it was already defeated. He is aiming for more glory and praises. That's why he never stops fighting and time to hang his gloves. But not everyone appreciates his comeback. But on the other side, they are seeing it not for the honor anymore, but for fame and for the money. As we know, that he lost millions when he ran for presidency. When he finally looked into the mirror, he didn't see a champion. He saw the boy from General Santos. Peace cleans, starving not for food anymore, but for domination. The legend of Manny Pacquiao was maybe for someone else is no longer about hope. It was about how far a man could climb while hiding his demons beneath a smile. To the people who adored him, he was the hero, the Pacman, the no-fair fighter who carried the nation's pride. To those who knew his truth, he was a tyrant in silk suits. In the end, Manny's greatest battle wasn't against Mayweather, Marquez, or De La Hoya, or anyone. It was against himself.